Here we are! Happy Pride! It's our very first Pride. It's 2021 and we got McKenna and Connor and all of Utah! Hello, and welcome back to The Queer Protagonist. I'm so excited to be back. Here we are. It's Pride Month. It's June. We're in New York City live. Whoa! I'm so excited you're here with me, and I'm so excited for this episode to share my joy with you, share some really special experiences, and just catch up. Okay, so I'm living in Williamsburg now, in Brooklyn. I think it's been a month and a half since we last talked, but I was on the Upper West Side, made the miraculous move. The apartment that my roomie and I were in was just absolutely terrible. So it's so great that we were able to get out of the lease and move to this neighborhood, Williamsburg. It's been my dream forever. It's full of amazing coffee shops, really yummy restaurants, really cool vintage shopping, super attractive people everywhere, and it's right on the water. I live right next to Domino Park, this beautiful view of the Manhattan skyline that I try to go to almost every single night. Over the last month since moving in, I have just finally felt at home and that sense of peace. I've been going on tons of fun dates. Of course, always going to all the concerts, shows, and comedy, poetry, as we always do, working really hard at the gym, lifting weights, getting stronger, loving that, and excited for the summer, but terrified for the crazy heat that New York is known for. So that's a little bit of what I've been up to. In this episode, I want to share where I have felt just life-changing queer joy. A few of these experiences are very near and dear to my heart, but I want to share them because they mean so much to me, and I think that why queer joy is so beautiful is often because it's contrasted with so much of the pain that it takes to get to that point. So thank you for listening. Let's start by defining what is queer joy. CNN actually wrote an article on queer joy, and one of the guests, their name is Sam Gomez, this is what they said. Queer joy looks like a door that leads to a community where my truest and most authentic self is valued, embraced, and validated. I think for me personally, what queer joy is the embodiment of a hug, a rush of acceptance and unconditional love, warmth spreading through your whole body, joy that you've made it where you are, and the bliss of being yourself. So, let's start with a question. Where have you felt fully accepted, feeling that unconditional love? Where have you felt queer joy? The first one that I want to share is the day that I came out on social media, and that was January 27th, 2021. In December of 2020, a month before, I graduated from BYU, and a relationship that I had been a part of for a very long time also had just ended. So when January came around, I knew I was finally ready to share this part of me with the world and fully embrace it and share my queerness with everyone and start using my voice in this way. And so I did a photo shoot on Salt Lake's Capitol Hill with my friend Garrett. And on the day of the 27th, I drove to my friend Tyler's house. I worked for 3+ hours writing out the caption. My friend Tyler helped me write it all out. I called my friends Aubrey and Allison for their help. After working really hard on everything that I wrote out, sharing my story, sharing that I'm gay, I clicked post. And it was just so freeing. Finally sharing these pictures of me waving this rainbow flag at Capitol Hill and sharing this part of me that I had kept inside for so much of my life. Telling the secret that I had always kept so long and was no longer a secret, but this beautiful, colorful part of me to share with the world. And then after that, my friend Elizabeth showed up. We all hopped in her car, me, Tyler, and Elizabeth, and we sang our hearts out. I want to break free. We're breaking free, soaring, flying. High School Musical, of course. Break free, cause I can't resist it no more. All the Break Free songs, cause it was officially Break Free Day. I felt so much joy. I could finally just be myself and not have to hide in this secret anymore. This second one that I'm going to share is a first as well, and it's really wholesome, and I'm so excited to share this story.
Utah Pride! Utah Pride! Utah Pride!
It is my first ever Pride in Salt Lake in June of 2021, just a few months after I'd come out publicly, 5 months. I picked up my bestie McKenna and we drove from Provo, Utah, where I was living, up to Salt Lake City for what would be my very first Pride March of my life. McKenna is a really sweet ally and said, Sam, I'd love to go to your first Pride with you, to support you, to walk with you. And it meant a lot to me because I think it's scary for a lot of queer people to go to their first Pride. We parked the car and then we walked up to Capitol Hill where we were told everyone was starting the march. We showed up and it was an explosion of color and smiles. So many people, families and all sorts of people, just thousands and thousands and thousands, all here as far as the eye could see. We walked down the main street from Capitol Hill, dancing and smiling. Everyone carrying this hundreds and hundreds of feet long pride flag. It was this massive pride flag that we were all carrying at once as we walked down this main street. So many people also carried different colored flags or different flags. The bisexual pride flag, the asexual flag, the trans flag. It was so cool to see. There were people on unicycles and scooters flying by, and I loved seeing the moms that had shirts that said "Free Mom Hugs" as they stood on the sideline and hugged people. I walked that main street in Salt Lake City in my short shorts, a pride flag draped across my shoulders, and a cute shirt that said "Better Together." I loved seeing the families standing on the corner, cheering and waving as we went by. And that's what the Pride March was families, individuals, and people from every walk of life coming together in Salt Lake City, Utah, a state that is deeply historically troubled when it comes to LGBTQ plus support. I wondered to myself, how many people marching right now with me share a similar story to mine, a long, deep struggle that it's taken to be where I am today. And I can only imagine hundreds, if not thousands. But there I was, with my bestie McKenna, walking side by side, witnessing the joy on everyone's faces, feeling so much joy in my own heart, recognizing the beauty of it all, that at the end of the day, we're not all just a random group of people that were thrown together. We're a community that chooses to support, advocate, love, and celebrate each other. We're a family. I felt so much peace, and more than anything, I just felt so much love, and I will never ever forget it. Okay, now here's the crazy story. It's Pride 2022, and I go to Los Angeles. I'm there with my bestie Troy, who is a resident of LA, and who is the Grand Marshal of the 2022 LA Pride Parade other than pop queen, our American Idol legend, Paula Abdul. You know her, you love her. We all grew up with her on American Idol. I mean, do you remember the chemistry between her and Simon Cowell? That was wild. All I wanna do is stay right here on the floor, get lost in the night and dance like there's no tomorrow. Whoa, whoa. Literally an icon. It's a beautiful LA day. There's all these really fun floats. I'm having fun looking snatched with my bestie Troy. This car revs up, and Paula Abdul is sitting on top of this car looking like an angel. And I wave at her, she waves back at me, and then kind of from afar, like she's in the middle of the street, I'm on the block, and I say, "Paula, thank you for always being so kind." And she hears me. She then asks the guards to step out of the way to let me in, and then she pulls me in, she gives me the biggest hug, and she kisses me Then and there, she kisses me on the cheek, and Paula Abdul kissed me. She kisses me on the cheek and asks me, "What's your name?" She then takes my hand, and I just expressed to her really fast while I was there with her, "Thank you for being kind in a world where it's so easy to be tough, where it's so easy to not be kind. It means a lot." And so that's the wild story of how Paula Abdul kissed me at Pride. And I'm channeling that energy, and that's the challenge for all of us here, to channel Paula Abdul energy in the kindness and love and support that we share, because that's queen energy, and it means a lot, and that's a beautiful form of allyship, to be kind in a world where it's so easy not to be. And I can't believe she kissed me. Also, her music slaps, and she looked incredible. So karma is doing good things for our queen. To conclude this episode, I'd love to share two things. First, there's so many more experiences of queer joy that I can't wait to share. And I'd love to hear your experiences of queer joy as an LGBTQ plus person. As an ally, I'd ask you, do you create environments where the queer people in your life can totally be themselves? I'm sure you do if you're listening to this, and that means so much. Even just your hugs and support and advocacy and kindness and love, it means so much. So keep it up, and just know that the love you give us means a ton. And I'd love to close out with this quote from Maddie Majakmo. Maddie Majakmo is one of the head instructors at Peloton. I'm sure you've heard of Peloton. They have seriously changed my life. They're the spin company, the bike company, but they also sell treads and have running classes. Maddie Majakmo is one of the main running or tread instructors, and I actually got to go to his live Pride Walk here in New York City, where he got in full drag as marathoner Mara, as she goes by, and it was the best time of my life. I'm sharing some photos and videos on Instagram, so definitely check those out. But this quote that Mara shared during the Pride Walk, it meant so much to me, and it struck me hard as what Pride really is. And so I'd love to close out the episode with this and just say thank you so much for listening. Happy Pride Month. Keep being kind to yourself and others. Love ya.
Pride isn't brought to you by Target or Verizon or Peloton. We love Peloton. Pride is brought to you by drag queens and trans people who stood up to the police because they were tired of being brutalized and beaten. Pride is brought to you by queer women who stayed by the bedsides of gay men while the AIDS crisis ripped through the gay community. While the government failed to act. Pride is brought to you by parents who love their queer children unconditionally. By doctors and nurses who understand that gender-affirming care is crucial to the survival of trans people of all ages. And by activists and allies like you, and you, and you, and you, who do not back down in the face of hate and phobia. Can I get a yes, Mama Mara?